Good evening, everyone. In the last session, we discussed about what is Apache Kafka. Apache Kafka is a message broker which is used for streaming the data. If any data which is generating on the real time, that data can be streamed by using this Kafka. And we are also using Apache Kafka to send the data from one application to another application. Apache Kafka will be working based on pub and sub model. One application will publish the message to the Kafka, which is called publisher. Another application which will subscribe to that message from the Kafka, which is called subscriber. So when we go for Kafka architecture, Zookeeper will be available. Kafka server will be available. Kafka topic will be there. Publisher application and subscriber application. So let's try to set up the Apache Kafka in our system. So did anyone tried setting up Apache Kafka in the system using the steps given in the notes? Anybody able to complete the setup? Guys, did anyone tried Kafka setup? Is it working? You can speak out. Is the setup of Kafka working in your system? Nobody tried. Okay. So let us see. First, we need to download Zookeeper here. So let me go to the internet and download Zookeeper. Let me check it. In my system, do I have already those softwares? Yeah. So I don't have that. Let me download those softwares by using given URLs. Okay. So here the URL to download the Zookeeper server. Go to browser and download Zookeeper. So let me download Zookeeper 3.8.0. I'm going to download this tar file. Zookeeper is downloaded. The tar file is downloaded for the Zookeeper. Then next one, we need to download Apache Kafka. By using this link, you can download Apache Kafka. 3.2.0 is available. 3.2.0 AJet file that I'm going to download. Good. Keep this one. Yes. Let's go to downloads and you can see that the files which are downloaded. Okay. I think still it is going on. Zookeeper downloading process completed. The Kafka downloading is happening. Now let's go to our downloads. Meanwhile, let us extract the Zookeeper here. WinRAR extract to Apache Zookeeper. Yeah. Wait a moment. Yes, Kafka is also downloaded. Let me extract Apache Kafka. Fine. So with this Kafka and Zookeeper softwares are downloaded. Let me copy this Zookeeper. I'm going to keep this in the softwares folder. So here I have softwares. Let me keep this here. Zookeeper is available. Similarly, let me copy Kafka also. Let me take it from here. Let me keep it here. Good. So I have downloaded those zip files and I have extracted them and I kept into softwares folder in my system. Then next step, set the path to Zookeeper in the environment variables up to bin folder. So we know how to set the path, right? Go to the Zookeeper. Here, bin directory is available. Let us take this path and configure this in the environment variables. Okay. So here, go to properties, environment variables, system environment variables, edit them. Edit the environment variables. Issue. Yes, I think there is issue with the laptop. It's not opening that. Yeah, I got it. Edit the environment variables. Go to environment variables. Under the system variables, path is available. Edit the path. Let us add the path for zookeeper. Now, here, if you see, I'm adding the path for the zookeeper. So we need to, how we are setting the path for the Java. In the same way, we are setting the path for zookeeper also. Click on OK, click on OK, and click on OK. So path setup is completed for zookeeper. Then copy zookeeper properties and the server properties files from Kafka config folder to Kafka bin Windows folder. So in the Kafka config folder, so let's go to Kafka. Let's go to Kafka config folder. Softwares. Here Kafka. In the Kafka config, there are two properties files available. One is zookeeper.properties. Another one is server.properties. Let's copy these two files and go to Kafka bin Windows folder. Okay. So the two files which are from Kafka config folder, I copied into Kafka Windows folder. This step is also completed successfully. Once these files are copied from Kafka config folder to Kafka Windows folder, we are going to start zookeeper server by using below command. Zookeeper server start bat file, zookeeper properties file we are going to give as a input for that. So go to here, Kafka Windows folder, open CMD. From this CMD, we are going to run zookeeper server. Okay. So this is the command which is used to start the zookeeper server. This input is too long. The syntax of the command is invalid. Zookeeper-server-start.bat space zookeeper.properties. What is happening? Softwares, Kafka, bin, Windows. Input line is too long. The syntax of the command is incorrect. It's correct, right? Zookeeper-server-start.bat will give properties file as the input. Input line is too long. So I open from Kafka bin Windows folder. in this CMD. Guys, anybody got the same problem here? I'm running my Zookeeper server, but it is saying the input line is too long. I'm trying to start my Zookeeper server by using Zookeeper server start.bat file. And I'm passing Zookeeper properties file as a input for that. You're also facing the same problem.
Hello, sir.
Yes.
Yeah, sir. So I was getting the same problem. So you can do one thing, sir. This name you can keep simply as Kafka. Like you can remove this additional like 2.13 all this. Okay. So one thing you can try like this.
Try that once.
Sir, instead of that, same issue will be means I am facing that one. Sir, after writing dot bat, give two spaces, sir. Yeah. Then it will work.
Let's try. Yeah, now it is getting started. I just renamed that folder name, sir. Earlier it was Kafka underscore some version is available. I have shortened that name. Then I'm trying to start my Zookeeper server. Now you see the Zookeeper server is started. Then let's go and open the CMD to start the Kafka server. So just Zookeeper started. Now let's go and start the Kafka server. To start the Kafka server from the same Windows folder, this command we are going to execute. In the another command prompt, I'm trying to run my Kafka server. Yes, Kafka server is getting started. Before running the Kafka server, we are starting our Zookeeper. Then we are starting our Kafka server. This Kafka server will connect with the Zookeeper server. So once the Kafka is started, you can create a topic. You can create a Kafka topic. So to create the Kafka topic, we are going to use the topic name like this. Okay. Now Kafka topics.bat file, open another command prompt to create Kafka topic. Right. So let's go to the same Windows folder. Let's open another CMD and execute this command. First, let us see what are the topics which are available. First, let us see what are the topics available in the Kafka. Kafka topics.bat list file, trying to connect with 9092. Kafka server got stopped. Kafka logs have failed. Guys, automatically my Kafka server got shut down. So let's see why. The logs, C temp Kafka logs will be available. Kafka logs and Zookeeper logs. I'm deleting these two folders. Kafka logs I have deleted. My Zookeeper server is in the running status, but a Kafka server got stopped. Okay, let me start the Kafka server again. I'm starting my Kafka server again. Due to the log file issue, Kafka server got stopped. I have deleted that log file and I have started my Kafka again. Yeah. Now let us go here and execute this command to see what are the topics available in the Kafka. Yep, you can see that orders topic, payments topic. There are two topics it is displaying here. That means previously when I install Kafka, I have created those topics. So Kafka is maintaining its own memory in the system and it is
So which
retrieving
logs file have you deleted, sir? You can say one.
Kafka logs. In the C folder, temp folder, Kafka logs will be available. I have deleted that. Now, so when I execute this command, Kafka topics bat file, it is displaying the topics which are available in the Kafka. So previously when I installed Kafka, I created two topics with a name called orders topic and payments topic. So Kafka is retrieving the old topics names. That means it is maintaining some location in the system where it will maintain the topic names. Now, I want to create one new topic in the Kafka now. To create a new topic in the Kafka, this is the command. So I'm going to give the topic name something like this, Ashok IT topic. Okay. So this is the command. Let us take this command and execute this command in the third command prompt. Now, so with this, I'm going to create a topic. I'm going to create a topic with a name called Ashok IT underscore topic. Now you can see the message created a topic with a name called Ashok IT. Okay. Now, so you can execute the list topics. So earlier we had only two topics. Now we are having three topics now. So earlier when I execute this topic bat, list the topics from the Bootstrap server. This is Kafka server URL. So it was showing two topics. One is orders topic and the second one is payments topic. Then I have executed Kafka topics bat file, create the topic by using these servers. This is the topic name I have created. Now, so it is giving the success message, topic is created in the Kafka. So topic means a queue which is used to store the messages. Then next one, here after creating the topic, if I execute this list command, it is showing the three topics which are available. Two topics are my old topics. This topic is the new topic I have created. So observe carefully, what is the procedure we have followed in order to set up the Kafka server in our system. First, I have downloaded Zookeeper from the below URL. Okay. Then I have downloaded Apache Kafka using this URL. Then for the Zookeeper, we configured path in the environment variables. So if you go to our environment variables, how the Java path is configured. Similarly, for the Zookeeper also we have done the path set. Then after in the Kafka directory, so if you go to this Kafka directory, there are two files available. One is zookeeper.properties file. Another one is server.properties file. Zookeeper.properties file we are using to start the Zookeeper server. Server.properties file we are giving as input to start the Kafka server. These two files are available in the Kafka config folder and we are copying them to Windows folder. It is not mandatory. So if you don't want to copy those files, then here you need to give the complete path of that file. So that's why I copied from config folder to Windows folder and I'm starting my Zookeeper server. Okay. So once we start, when we are trying to start the Zookeeper server, from which location we are starting, you read this message. Start the Zookeeper server using below command from Kafka bin Windows folder. So when we go for Kafka server, in the Kafka server Windows folder will be available. In the Kafka server bin folder is available. Inside that bin folder, Windows folder is available. From that Windows folder, we are going to start the Kafka and Zookeeper. Go to Kafka bin. SH files are used to run these servers in the Linux machine. Kafka can be executed in the Linux machine as well as in the Windows machine. If you want to execute in the Linux machine, then we will use SH files. If you want to execute in the Windows machine, then we will use BAT files. So these are the two files I copied from config folder to Windows folder. Then by using this command, I have started zookeeper. Using this command, I have started Kafka. If anybody getting the exception like input is too long, then you rename these folders here. Kafka version is also available in the folder name. I have renamed it. And another thing, if you are getting Kafka server issue, go to the C directory and the temp directory. Kafka logs folder will be available. Lot of log messages will be generated for the Kafka. You just go to this temp directory and delete Kafka logs folder. Okay. So if you are facing any issue with the Kafka server, delete Kafka logs folder. If Kafka is getting stopped, if Kafka server is getting stopped, delete Kafka logs from C temp folder. Okay. In this location, Kafka logs folder will be created. So if your Kafka server is getting stopped, then you go to that location and you delete those logs from the Kafka. Are you guys clear? If Kafka server is getting stopped, you delete Kafka logs from C and temp folder. So once it is done, to start the zookeeper server, first one command prompt we are opening. In that command prompt, we started zookeeper. Then we opened another command prompt. Then we started Kafka server. Then we opened another command prompt, which is used to create the topic and display what are the topics which are available. Are you guys able to understand the Kafka setup I have done in my system? Step 1, downloading the zookeeper. Step 2, downloading Kafka. Step 3, environment variable setup for the zookeeper. Step 4, before that, copying the files from config folder to Windows bin Windows folder. Step 4, starting the zookeeper. Step 5, starting the Kafka. If Kafka server is getting stopped, then delete the logs from the temp folder. Then open another command prompt and create a topic, and you can see the topics that are created. So with this, we are done with Kafka setup in our system. Now, once the Kafka setup is ready, zookeeper is running, Kafka is running. Inside that Kafka, topic is also available. Now, we need to create one application which will publish the message to the topic, and we need to create another application which will subscribe the messages from the topic. That means we need to develop publisher application and a subscriber application. So Kafka is there. So let us see the architecture now. My zookeeper server is available. My zookeeper server is running. So once the zookeeper server is running, then we are going to use, once the zookeeper server is running, then in that zookeeper, we are running Kafka. In that Kafka, we are going to create a topic. Now, one application will act as a publisher. Another application will act as a subscriber. Okay. So here we have publisher application. Here we have publisher application. Here we are having subscriber application. Publisher is available and subscriber is available. So publisher will publish a message to the topic. Subscriber will subscribe to that message from the topic. So here topic is available. Topic is nothing but a queue where you want to store the messages. Inside the Kafka, you can create multiple topics also. Inside one Kafka server, we can create multiple topics also. One is Kafka server, another one is zookeeper server. Zookeeper server is providing the environment to run the Kafka server. So zookeeper server is providing environment to run the Kafka server. So first we started zookeeper, then we started Kafka, then we created topic. Now we need to develop our publisher application and a subscriber application. What is the meaning of a publisher? The application which is going to publish the message to the topic is called as a publisher. The application which is going to subscribe to the messages is called as subscriber. Okay. Publisher and subscriber is available. Are you guys able to follow me? Now we need to develop the publisher application and the subscriber application. So let me go and develop the publisher and subscriber application also. The development procedure we have already having. What are the dependencies that are required for our publisher development and subscriber development? So we need to create one Spring Boot application. In that Spring Boot application, we need to add the Kafka related dependencies. Once we add the Kafka related dependencies, then we can create the classes which are required to publish the message to the Kafka topic. Okay, so these are the steps which are used to develop the Kafka publisher application. These are the steps we need to follow to develop Kafka publisher application or producer application. So web starter, see here, create the boot application, add the below dependencies. So we need to create one Spring Boot application. Create Spring Boot application with the below dependencies. So I'm going to develop one REST API, which is going to act as a publisher. I'm going to develop one REST API, which is going to act as a publisher. In that REST API, we are going to add the dependencies. What are the dependencies? One is web starter, which is used to develop a REST controller. Kafka streams dependency is available. Spring Kafka dependency available. I want to store the messages with respect to JSON data. For that, Jackson data bind dependency available. And this test starter and Kafka test starters, these are normal. So let us do the project creation here. Create Spring Boot application with the below dependencies. Creating Spring Boot application with Kafka related dependencies. One minute, my IDE is opening. Yeah, it is loading now. Yes, guys. So our IDE is open. Let us create one boot application. File new Spring Starter project. Kafka publisher, Maven, and Ashok IT. Dependencies, Spring Web dependency I am using, and Kafka. Let's try Spring Kafka dependency. Spring for Apache Kafka I am using. Okay. Web starter and Kafka starter I am using. Next and finish. Project creation is in progress. Guys, it is downloading the dependencies. Yeah. Finally, our Kafka project is created. Go to pom.xml. Now see the dependencies. Web starter is available. Spring Kafka is available. Okay. What else we required? Web starter. Kafka streams is required. Spring Kafka, Jackson data bind. 2 additional dependencies are required. We are adding those dependencies also. We have added web starter, Kafka streams, and Spring Kafka and Jackson data bind dependencies we have added. All right. Once the project is created, then we can create some constants class in which you want to specify your Kafka host. That means what is the URL of your Kafka. Currently, Kafka is running in the local system. So we are going to give localhost :9092. So in the real time, Kafka will be running in the different server. That IP address we are going to specify, and what is the topic name you want. You can mention your topic name. So we are going to create one constants class, which is going to represent our topic name and Kafka host. So let us create a class called constants class. So name this as app constants. Name this as app constants. So let me declare 2 variables in this class, constant variables only. One is the name of the topic, another one is host. So what is the topic name you want to keep? In which topic you want to publish a message, and where is your Kafka server? My Kafka server will be running in the local system. So I'm giving localhost :9092. If Kafka is available in the different system, then that system URL IP address we are going to specify to connect with that Kafka server and this Kafka topic. So constants class is ready. Next one, create one model class to represent data. So what data you want to store into Kafka topic? I want to store one order data into Kafka topic, new class, some binding class. So I'm taking the class name as order ID, order name, some variables. What data you want to store? ID, price, and email I want to represent. So let us take these variables in this class. Let us take variables in this class. So this is one order class, right? So we will create the object for this class. We will set the data to these variables, and these variables data, this order data, I want to send to Kafka topic as a message. Okay. Order class is available. I have represented variables in this class. Then the most important part here, producer config. So how do we connect with this Kafka server? So let me go for a class with a name called producer config. Producer config, I want to represent this Java class as a configuration class. For that, we are using @configuration annotation. So what we are going to write in the producer config class? So in the producer config class, we need to specify where the Kafka server is available and what is the key type and what is the value type. So key is a topic name, value is my order data. So let me create our producer configuration object here by using producer factory. So public producer factory, which is used to represent Kafka configuration. Key is string, LU is our order object. I want to store order data into Kafka. So let me represent this as a producer factory. Now, to represent this, let me go for a map object. Map of string comma object will be available. So we are going to specify config properties is equal to new hash map. So in this config properties, we are going to specify all the information related to Kafka producer. Now, so in this config properties, we need to specify what is the Kafka server URL and what is the key type and what is the value type. So let me store that into map config props dot put map dot put key, which is producer config class will be available. producer config dot, I think our class name should not be the predefined class name. Let me rename it. Our class name I'm changing to Kafka producer config. Then we are going to use predefined producer config dot bootstrap servers config. Bootstrap servers config will represent where your Kafka server is available. Host. In the app constant, I already specified app constants dot host. So which is going to represent localhost colon 9092. My Kafka server is running in the local system with the port number 909. So we are configuring the bootstrap server. So when we are developing the producer application, producer factory we are creating. In the producer factory, we are setting the bootstrap server details. Bootstrap server nothing but our Kafka server. And we need to specify key serializer and value serializer. Key serializer nothing but what is your topic type and what is your value type. Config props dot put of producer config. It is a predefined class here. Producer config dot key serialize class config. Okay, key serialize class config. Key I'm going to take as a string type. So which is string serializer dot class. Key is a string. That means the topic name is a string. String serializer dot class we are going to specify. And what is the value? Config props dot put of producer config value serializer type. Producer config dot value serializer class config. Value I want to store as a JSON data. So I'm going to specify JSON serializer dot class. I'm going to specify JSON serializer dot class. Key is string and value is JSON I want to store. So this one I want to represent in the producer configuration. So mainly we are configuring three things in the producer config. One is bootstrap server, another one is key serializer, third one is value serializer. Bootstrap server nothing but your Kafka server. When is your Kafka server available? Key serializer nothing but what is your key type when you are publishing a message. My key is a topic name which is string type. So key serializer class config string serializer dot class. Value serializer class config value order data I want to store in the message in the form of JSON. So value serializer I'm taking as JSON serializer dot class. Then finally return Kafka producer factory object. Return new default Kafka producer factory by passing our map object. So we created the map object, right? Config props object. We are returning that map object. Now I want to represent this producer factory as a string bean. For that we are using @bean annotation. For that we are writing @bean annotation. So this is producer factory config object. This producer factory I want to inject into Kafka template. So let me create one more bean with a name called public Kafka template. Okay. What is the key? Is the string. What is the value? Which is order. I'm customizing Kafka template object. Now return new Kafka template. Return new Kafka template by passing this producer factory object. I'm going to call this method to pass the producer factory object, and I'm going to represent this also as a bean method here. So this is the producer configuration we need to write here. Kafka producer configuration class available. To represent one Java class as a configuration class, we are using @configuration annotation and producer factory we have created. And we are passing the producer factory object as an input for our Kafka template. So passing producer factory as an input for Kafka. So this is our producer configuration class. Producer config is available. Kafka template is available. Then finally, create one service class which is used to publish the message to the top. Okay. So look at this Kafka configuration class. If you understand this one, then we are done with Kafka producer 90%. Just we need to create one class and we need to publish the message to the Kafka topic. To publish the message to the Kafka topic, we have a predefined class called Kafka template. For the Kafka template, we are passing the producer factory. In the producer factory, we specified our bootstrap server, key serializer, and value serializer. That's it. Look at this class. Done. Let me create producer service, or let me create a class called order service. I'm taking a class with a name called order service. So let me represent this as a service by using @service annotation. Let me inject Kafka template here. Now we are going to inject a Kafka template and we will publish the message to the Kafka topic by using Kafka template. Let me inject Kafka template. We have already customized Kafka template. Key type is string, value type is order. Now let me take it as Kafka template. Let me go for auto binding. Good. Order is our binding class. Kafka template is a predefined class given by the Spring to communicate with the Kafka servers and topics. Let's write a message public string publish message, which is going to take order object as an input. Then we are going to write Kafka template dot send a message. Okay. So with the Kafka topic, we are going to send app constants dot topic comma order data. Then finally, I'm going to return a message published. Message published to Kafka topic. That's it. Okay. We are writing one method in the service class. That method is taking order object. That order object I am passing to Kafka template.send method. What is Kafka template here? Kafka template is a predefined class which is used to send the message to the topic. How the Kafka template will know to which topic it has to publish, where is the Kafka server. That's why the producer configuration object is created. The producer configuration object knows what is the server, what is the key, and what is the value. That producer server, producer factory object we are injecting into Kafka template. So when you use Kafka template.send method, it will load the producer information. Bootstrap server means where is the Kafka server available, what is the topic, and what is the value. So based on that, it is going to publish message into Kafka topic. Based on that, it is going to publish the message into Kafka topic. So look at this class, order service. Are you clear? Are you guys clear with order service? Are you guys clear with order service? Producer factory means which represents the configuration related to Kafka server. Producer factory is a predefined class in the Spring which is used to represent Kafka server details. Producer factory is a class which will represent Kafka server details. Good. Now, so service is created. Let's create simple REST controller and call the service method. Let us go to our REST controller. In the producer application, we are creating one REST controller. New class order REST controller in dot ashokid.rest. So let's go for order REST controller. Finish. So make it as a REST controller by using @REST controller annotation. Let us inject our order service, public order service. Then let me go for auto wiring. Then let us write one method public string place order. So we are taking order object. Then we are going to call service dot place order. Order service is available. Order service dot publish the message to the topic by using given order object. Order data we will get in the form of request body. It is a REST controller method. So let me receive the data as request body and let me write post mapping method. I want to map this method to a post request with a slash order. Whatever the message we are getting from the service, same message I'm returning as a response to the client. So here 5 classes we created, guys. One is constants class. Inside this constants class, we are representing our topic name and we are representing our Kafka URL. And we created one binding class called order class, which is used to represent the data. So ID, price, and email, some variables I'm taking. Then order service is there. Before that, producer config class we created, which is used to represent the connectivity with the Kafka server. Then order service. In the order service, I'm taking the Kafka template. Using the Kafka template, we are sending the message to the topic. And here to test this one, we created one REST endpoint. REST controller is available. This REST controller will talk to order service and it will place the order. The order service will talk to Kafka template, will publish the message to the Kafka topic. So with this, our producer application is ready. Now, so to see really the producer is producing the message, consumer is consuming the message. Let me develop the consumer application also. I need to develop my consumer application also. Once the producer publish the message, then subscriber should be able to subscribe to that message. Okay. So we have the steps to develop subscriber application also. All right. Now here the steps available in order to develop Kafka subscriber application. So develop Spring Boot application with the below dependencies. With the same dependencies, we are going to develop that, but another application. So it is a second project that we are going to create. Let us create that second project. Remove all these things. File, new, Spring Starter project. Kafka subscriber. Next, so Spring Web dependency that we are going to add, and Apache Kafka we are adding, and finish. Subscriber application is getting created. So as we discussed in the diagram, one application will act as a publisher, another application will act as a subscriber. Yeah, it is getting created. Go to pom.xml. Here also we need to add few more dependencies, right? The dependencies are same both in the producer application and subscriber application. Let's go to subscriber application and let me add these dependencies. Kafka streams, Spring Kafka, and JSON data bind. That's it. Kafka streams added, Spring Kafka, JSON data bind dependencies are available. All right. Now, once this is done, let us create the constants class. Same class we created in the producer also to represent the topic name, to represent the Kafka post. So here also we need to create one class with a name called app constants. Let me take that same class, and the same binding also we need here, which is used for reading the data. Constants class is available, app constants. So this is the name of the topic and this is Kafka server URL. Binding class is available, order. Publisher will publish the order, subscriber will read that order data. So constants class is available, model class is also available. Consumer configuration here. How we have done the producer configuration? Now we need to perform the Kafka consumer configuration. How do we perform Kafka consumer configuration? Let me create one more config package here in the consumer application, new class config. This is consumer config, Kafka consumer config. Right. So to represent this class as a configuration class, we will use @configuration annotation. Earlier we have used producer factory. Now we are going to use consumer factory. So same process here also. We are going to specify key and value, and there we specified key serializer. Now we will specify key deserializer and value deserializer. Now let me create one bean, public consumer factory, Kafka consumer factory. Key is string and value is order. Value is order consumer factory. Here, let me create one map object, key and value. So config props is equal to new hash map, which is used to store the data in the form of key and value pair. Now, okay, so let's go config props dot put off. So what we are going to specify, consumer config dot bootstrap servers. Okay, consumer config dot bootstrap servers config. What is the meaning of bootstrap server? Kafka server. Where it is available? Localhost. App constants dot host. I'm giving my bootstrap server URL. Okay, so config props dot, this is object, not order. Map of key comma object, config props dot put off key bootstrap servers config and host my Kafka server URL. Similarly, config props dot put off consumer config dot key deserializer class config. So producer will publish, it is a serialization, sending the data. Consumer will read it, it is for deserialization. So it is string deserializer dot class will be available. String deserializer class will be available, which is used to read that data. Okay. Now string deserializer dot class we are going to use, and similarly value deserializer will be available. Config props dot put off consumer config dot value deserializer class configuration JSON deserializer. So we are going to use JSON deserializer dot class. JSON deserializer dot class will be available. Return new default consumer factory. Return new default consumer factory. For that we are going to pass our config props as an input, and we want to represent this as a Spring Bean. For that we will use @bean animation. So in the producer configuration, same logic available. There it was producer factory bean. Producer will publish here. So here producer side we configured key serializer and we configured value serializer. When it comes to the consumer side, here we configured key deserializer and value deserializer. Producer side serializer is available. Consumer side deserializer is available. Key serializer, value serializer, key deserializer, value deserializer is available. Producer side we have configured producer factory. Producer factory is available. Consumer side, consumer factory is available. So here we configure producer factory bean. Producer factory bean available. In the producer factory bean we configured key serializer, value serializer. Here we configured consumer factory, consumer key deserializer, value deserializer is available. So this is the configuration that we have done. Key serializer and value serializer. Here key deserializer and value deserializer for consumer factory. Producer side, publisher application is having producer factory, which is having key serializer and value serializer. Subscriber side, consumer factory is available, which is having key deserializer and value deserializer. Key deserializer and value deserializer is available. Are you guys clear with my point? Are you guys clear with the configuration that we have done? Serializer is used to store the data. Deserializer is used to read the data. Storing the data and reading the data. To send the data from the publisher application to Kafka topic, serializer will be available. To read the data from the topic to the subscriber, the deserializer will be available. Key serializer and value deserializer. Perfect. Now, inside the consumer side, one more thing we need to configure. Listener we need to configure here, guys. Kafka listener is required. So here, producer side Kafka template will be available. Consumer side listener will be available. Kafka listener factory we are configuring, which is going to listen by using this consumer factory. Okay. So we need to configure one extra bean, which is used for listening to the topic. Are you clear with my point? Correct. Once it is done, then listener side, we are writing one more small method, which is going to listen to the message from the topic. Whenever the message comes to the topic, that message will come to the listener. Listener will print that message on the console. If you want, you can store in the database, whatever the operation you want, you can do that. So this method is going to act as a Kafka listener. Okay. Now, for which topic it is going to listen, we are going to specify the topic name here. Kafka listener is available. Subscribe the message. Kafka listener topics. This is the topic. Ashok IT topic is available. Order topic available. It will listen to the topic. Whenever publisher publish the message to the topic, my listener will be listening to the topic and it is going to print that message on the console. Group ID nothing but customers group will be available, guys. Whenever multiple subscribers are available for the topic, the group will be created for the subscribers. The subscriber group we are going to specify. So any available subscriber which is going to consume the message from the topic. So whenever we are creating the subscriber group is required. That is called group ID. So we are going to specify Ashok IT order group ID is available. So this subscriber belongs to this Ashok IT order group. So this group is listening to this topic. Whenever some message comes to the topic, that message will be listened by this subscriber and it is going to read that message from the topic. That message we are printing on the console. Here you can write, once you got the message from the topic, you can write your own logic and you can perform operation on that data. So with this, our consumer application is also ready. Let us see what are the steps we have done in the consumer application. We created boot application with below dependencies. Then we created one constants class in which other details and server details are available. We created a model class which is representing our data. And we created one consumer configuration class which is going to represent what is the key deserializer value, deserializer, and where is our Kafka server available, and listener configuration we are doing, which is going to listen to the topic. And at the rate Kafka listener, we are writing one method. For that method, we are writing the listener annotation, and we are giving the topic name, and we are giving the consumer group name. So whenever message comes to the topic, this listener method will be executed. It will listen to that topic and will get the messages. Whatever the messages are coming, it is going to print that message on the console. So now finally, run the application. So first what we need to do, run publisher application and consumer application. So we have two applications now. So we need to run publisher application and we need to run consumer application. Send the request to that publisher application. We can say publisher or producer. Okay. Run the producer application and consumer application. Then send the request to producer application and observe subscriber application console. Okay. So two applications I'm running on the same system. So the port numbers should be different. So I will run publisher application with the default port number, which is 8080 embedded Tomcat. But subscriber application port number cannot be same. So I'm going to change this port number to 8081. Server dot port is equal to 8081. Producer will run on 8080. Consumer will run on 8081. Okay. Refresh and refresh. First, let me start producer. Meanwhile, check it. Our servers are running or not. Yeah, servers are up and running. Now, go to publisher, refresh this one. Run this publisher application. Run as boot application. Publisher is running with the port number 8080. Publisher will run with the port number 8080. Go to the console. Yes, it started, guys. Publisher started with port number 8080. Then let us start our subscriber. Run as boot application. Subscriber will run on port number 8081. Subscriber is started. Yes. So with this, two applications are ready. Producer and subscriber applications are ready. Producer is running on 8080. Subscriber is running on 8081. Publisher and consumer. Publisher is running on 8080 and consumer is running on 8081. Now, we need to send the request to the producer application and we need to observe that the data is coming to subscriber application or not. So when I produce the message to Kafka topic by using producer, is it consuming by subscriber application or not? We need to observe. If we are able to subscribe to that message from the topic in the subscriber, then we are good. Okay. So this is the JSON data which we are sending to producer application. Go to Postman tool for testing purpose. I'm using Postman. Okay, you observe the two consoles here. Producer console is available and the subscriber console available. Currently, nothing is available in these consoles. Go to Postman, send a post request for the producer application. So get and post localhost colon 8080/order. No authentication here. Body data, which is a JSON data. Order data I am sending. Look at this. I'm sending a post request with JSON data in the request body. So what will happen when I send this data to the producer application? A REST controller is available, which will take that data from the request body, which will publish that message by using order service. What is there in the order service? Kafka template available. and we are calling send method, which will publish the message to the Kafka topic. When the message is published to the Kafka topic, already subscriber listening to the topic, Kafka listener is available here in the consumer application. So it will listen to the topic, it will read that message, will print on the console. Okay, let us verify this functionality now. Go to the console. Publisher console is empty. Here you see the two consoles because two applications are running. One is publisher application, 08 publisher application console available, and 09 consumer subscriber application console is available. So let us send the request, post request. I'm sending a request to the producer application, internal server error. We got the error. Read this one. Publisher class data bind serializer, not instance of Kafka serializer. Okay. So the package is imported incorrectly in the producer configuration, guys. Key serializer, value serializers are available. Oh, these are string serializer. JSON serializer we have taken from Spring Kafka. String serializer we have taken from Jackson. It's not correct. So import the correct package. String serializer from Kafka, we need to import that. Okay. Apache Kafka string serialization we are going to import. Apache Kafka string serialization we are using. JSON serializer and string serializer we have taken. So we need to restart our publisher application now. Consumer side is okay. Our consumer also let me restart. Consumer side also any package mismatches. The configuration part. Key and value serializers. JSON serializer, deserializer, string deserializer. I have taken from Kafka only. Okay, no problem. Publisher and subscriber. Run the publisher application. Publisher is ready. Let's run our subscriber also. Yes. So with this publisher and subscriber applications are started. Clear the consoles. Publisher console also cleared. Subscriber console also cleared. Now send the request again. Last time it failed because of that mismatch of the package. Send the request. Yes, message published to Kafka topic. Now we are able to see that the message is published to Kafka topic. Go to our console. Now you see two consoles available. One is publisher console. In the publisher console, we are able to see that Kafka related configuration is printed on the console. And if you go to subscriber console, it is saying message received from the Kafka. So whatever the message we are publishing to the Kafka, that message received by the subscriber. Very quickly, when we are publishing the messages, those messages are subscribing by the consumers. Now send the second time, send the third time, then send the fourth time. So four messages we published. Now you see 4 times it is receiving the message from the topic. Publisher is publishing the message to the topic. Subscriber is subscribing to that message from the topic. This is called pub and sub model. One application is publishing the message. Another application is subscribing to that message. So Kafka is working now. So our 8th application is acting as a subscriber publisher application, which is publishing the message to the topic. The 9th application listening to the topic. Both are connected to the same Kafka server, localhost 9092. One application is publishing the message, another application is subscribing that message. So this is message broker related application. So you see the diagram. Now it is working. whatever we discussed theoretically yesterday, the publisher subscriber topic, practically we are able to implement today. We started Zookeeper server, then we started Kafka server. Then we have used publisher application, which is publishing the message to the topic. And we have subscriber application, which is subscribing to that message from the topic. And it is just taking the message and printing on the console. Are you guys clear? So now we are able to see Kafka project execution. Now we are able to see Kafka project execution. Right. Good, guys. Thank you. So with this, we understood what is Kafka, how to set up Kafka in the Windows, how to develop the publisher, how to develop the subscriber. In the real time, Kafka setup, we are not going to do. Kafka admin team will be available. They will set up the Kafka environment. They will only create the Kafka topics. So we need, if you want a topic for the Kafka, if you want a Kafka topic for your application, you need to send a Jira request to them, requesting them, I need a topic for this application with this name. Then they will create the topic and they will give the topic name for you. Using that topic, you can either publish or you can subscribe. Good, fine. So the examples that we have developed in Git repository already, that code is available. I will add the URL also in the notes. So if you go to our GitHub repository, in this GitHub repository, the URLs are already available. So you can just search with the Kafka in my repo. So you will get Kafka producer application and Kafka consumer application. So this is producer Git repository. And the subscriber application. So whatever the code we developed today, same code is available in the Git repository. So I will share these notes also in the website, guys, so that you guys can do the practice today. Kafka setup I have done in the class, and Kafka publisher and Kafka consumer application development we have done. Now, anybody having any questions, they can unmute and they can ask me.
Hello, sir. Hello.
Yes, sir, I can hear you.
Sir, the port number of app constant 9092, it is constant for every time, sir, or it will be changed?
It will not change, sir. That is the port number for Kafka server. So we have given server.properties file as an input to start the Kafka server, right? In that properties file, that port number will be configured.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
If you want, you can change that port number also. That is the default port number when we are running the Kafka server.
Okay, sir. Okay.
Sir, hello.
Yes, sir.
If there is one producer and multiple subscriber, and if other subscribers need other message, then how it will be get populated to their
So when one subscriber is available, so whenever one publisher is available and one subscriber is available, when one publisher publish the message, once the subscriber subscribe to that message will be removed from the Kafka topic. So if you want one message to be consumed by the multiple subscribers, then you need to use a partition topic in the Kafka. At the time of creating the Kafka topic, so in that topic, we are going to specify how many number of partitions are required. That means how many replicas you want to create for the message. So for each subscriber, the message replica will be created.
Thank you.
All of you, please, the notes is available.
Yes. So when a producer sends a message to the subscriber, so subscribers are unable to consume the message. So at that particular time, what we can do, sir?
We need to
If the
reprocess.
subscriber is not able to consume, that will remain same in the Kafka topic only. Until the subscriber subscribe the message will stay in the topic. Once you subscribe, then the message will be removed from the topic.
Sir, if there are multiple subscribers, for each subscriber, if the message is received,
Same.
then each partition would get removed. Huh?
Yes, from each partition it is going to remove.
That means okay, each instance will remove even when one subscriber start receiving the messages.
So they will allocate that set, right? Whenever we are doing subscriber consumer group is available, right? When we create the partitions, we are going to specify. So this consumer belongs to which group? From the group partitions, he is going to get the message. Once he get the message, that message will be removed from that partition.
Okay.
Sir,
Yes.
can we send the message from the Kafka to mobile number?
Kafka to mobile number, no sir, it's not possible.
Then how can you send the message to mobile numbers?
That through coding you have to do that, sir. Kafka will not send them. Kafka is just for storage. So if you want to send a message to the mobile, you need to write the Java code and you need to send it. There is an API called Twilio API is available. By integrating Java with the Twilio API, we can send the messages to the mobile numbers. How we are using Mail API to send the emails, to send the messages to the mobile, Twilio API is available. We need to integrate the Twilio API in the Java application.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sir, whatever the properties you have write in the configuration configuration class, so in real time is there any other properties we have to configure there?
So in the real time, currently we are directly communicating with the Kafka server, right? In the real time, security will be available. Some certificates we need to integrate to communicate with the Kafka server here. So it's our local environment and practice purpose. Directly my producer and consumer able to connect with the Kafka topics. But in the real time, Kafka servers will be having a cluster and those clusters will be secured by using JCL certificates. Through code, if you want to publish a message, you need to load that certificate, then only you can connect. The certificate configurations will be extra in the real time.
Okay. Only that one line we have to add in
Only
the
one that
configuration
line.
file, right?
Certificate loading will be there. The remaining things are same.
Okay.
Like producer configuration and consumer configuration part is same. Only extra thing, certificate configurations will be there in the real time.
Okay.
Secure certificates will be available.
Yes.
Sir, one question.
Yeah.
Sir, suppose we have partitions in topics, and for each partition we have subscribers. So when a publisher publishes a message on topic, how those messages are consumed by the subscribers?
So listener,
What
whenever
way?
you write a Kafka listener, whenever you write a Kafka listener annotation, always it will be listening to that topic whenever message comes. So Kafka, whenever you configure the Kafka consumer listener, right? Kafka stream API will be available. So it will work based on event-driven architecture. Whenever message published, immediately it will trigger a event to the subscriber. Subscriber will read that message. So in the background, Kafka APIs will execute.
Okay, sir.
Fine guys, thank you. With this, I'm stopping for today. Notes is uploaded and I will share the video also. Please do the practice before coming to tomorrow's session. Thank you guys. Have a great evening.